Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna discuss about GCash and some of the features that they have. If you have one, there may be some features that you're not maximizing, so stay tuned. If you haven't signed up for one, we have a link in the description box below. Please feel free to use that link so that you get about 70 pesos of credits when you open an account with GCash for the first time. If you're new to the channel, I'm PPE and this is the Peso Pro episodes where we talk about money management tips and peso tricks. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe button below. Today, we're gonna talk about the 8 features that are in GCash that you're probably not aware of or are not maximizing yet. GCash right now is the Philippines' leading mobile wallet with about 20 plus million users already. This is a big jump from where they were when they started the campaign, and I think the pandemic actually helped boost the adoption of GCash into our daily lives. Pag bumibili po kayo ngayon sa online sellers, typically yung mode of payment has already shifted from your traditional BPI or BDO fund transfer to including GCash and maybe sometimes PayMaya QRs as payment method. So I really am excited for what GCash and other apps can offer in the future, but for now, let's talk about tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to buy load for different items within the GCash app. This can be very helpful in 2 ways. Number 1, every time you load via the GCash app, you actually get a 5% rebate on the load that you bought. This is subject to a 50 peso cap every month though, so hindi po tayo yayaman with the 5% rebate, nor can you actually set up a loading business because now there's a cap of 50 pesos per month, which is very low. But for personal consumption, a 50 peso savings, example for a student or even a young worker who's having a prepaid phone, is very good. There are also other deals that are exclusive for GCash. So you would typically get this for Globe and TM because they're partner companies basically. But there's actually a very good deal where you can get like a week's worth of data, only calls and only text for only 90 pesos. And the 90 pesos is also still subject to the 5% rebate, bringing that down to a really good price of about 85.50 for the week. If you multiply that to 4 weeks per month, that's just roughly about 350 per month, beating even some of the postpaid offerings from Globe. You can also buy other load credits for other things like mobile games or signal, cable subscription, or other kinds of credits, including prepaid medical cards from other HMOs or a bunch of different things. Also, to correct a common misconception, GCash is open to all networks while it's partnered with Globe. The GCash ecosystem helps support all networks, so you can actually buy load even for Smart and Sun Cellular subscribers as well. Number 2, which I personally like and has probably solved some of the most common problems, is the KKB or the kanya-kanyang bayad feature of GCash. In the app, you can actually find KKB as a feature and you can select specific bills that you can share. So for example, nag-lunch out kayo with friends and you have to split the bill. Sometimes it's very hard to keep track. So there's actually a way to get this into GCash where you technically input very simple details like the name of the thing you're splitting, the date, and who are the different participants in the split. If you were to split everything equally, there's an option for that in-app so that they actually do the calculation for you. Or if you want to split the bill by piece, for example, everyone bought something and you're charging them on what they bought, you can actually indicate the amount that each person will have to pay. Once you click send, it sends a notification to your friends so that they can actually pay you back within the GCash app. This makes it a bit simpler versus doing it the fund transfer sort of way, and it's also a great way because you can actually do it right away and send it as a notification to your friends so that they also don't forget to pay you back. The next one is paying bills, and probably you've seen this before, but paying bills also has helped me personally in managing a lot of the transactions that you have to do and eliminating the times that you would have to queue at even a bayad center to get these things done. especially in the pandemic, doing these things digitally has been a godsend for most people who cannot leave their homes, or I mean for just hygiene purposes, it's probably the best way to go. So what has helped me is in the GCash app, you can actually pay for bills like utilities and other kinds of routine payments like your cable subscription or your broadband and Wi-Fi bills. But what I've also learned is that you can also use the app to actually settle government payments. There are a list of different government agencies. The one that stood out for me is that you can do transactions with SSS, so you can actually remit. This is perfect for freelancers or self-employed individuals because you can just generate your PRN or your payment reference number in the SSS website, use that number and pay that via GCash, and then you're done. You don't have to queue up at SSS or any of the other affiliate over-the-counter centers. You can also use the GCash app to pay for credit card bills. So what has worked for me is that my main account is BPI, and BPI doesn't have a bills payment facility with East West Bank's credit cards. Before, this was a very hard step of having to actually line up at an East West Bank branch to pay your credit card bill. Now what I can do is I can just top up my GCash wallet and pay East West Bank via the GCash bills payment option and then be done with it. Just take note that for most bills payments merchants, it will require an average of 1 to 3 working days for the payment to actually post in the receiving side, so that you don't incur fees. Please just take that into account moving forward. The fourth one is being able to borrow money within the GCash app. The GCash app will allow you to access a service called G-Credit after you reach a certain G-score. The G-score is built over time due to your transactions within the GCash app. You will get notified as long as you met the requirements and the criteria to be activated for G-Credit. While G-Credit is not the best loan because it's actually very pricey at an average of 4 to 5% per month, it is still an option though that you can loan, especially if you are in dire need of cash. I do not advocate for this choice, but just to let you know that it's there. You can use that as payment for a bunch of different merchants that are available in the GCash app. Number 5 is one of my personal favorites, which is on the topic of microinsurance. Microinsurance is basically a very small insurance premium that is designed for you to be able to purchase coverage for a specific need. That's why they can sell this at relatively lower cost because you're only assessing a specific need versus the other typical comprehensive insurance policies that you probably hear of from other agents. Inside the app, you will see G-Insure right now. For selected users, you can actually already start buying a dengue coverage that has an option to also include COVID-19 support in terms of the insurance cover. This can range from about 500 to 1,500 per person per year. There's a variety of different packages and coverage limits, but essentially, this gives you coverage, for example, to get money in case you would have to be tested for either dengue or COVID-19, or if you are hospitalized in severe cases, you can actually get cash assistance to defray some of the costs. This is a step in the right direction because now you can actually buy insurance policies for the whole year with a few clicks in your phone and be able to get insured almost immediately. Obviously, you have to read the terms and conditions because there are very specific information that you have to take into account. If you're interested to learn more about microinsurance premiums and policies in the Philippines, what are your choices? Please comment that in the comment section below so that I know your questions. We may just do another video on it. This is an area that's very close to my heart, and I hope that more and more institutions like GCash actually roll out more products within the microinsurance space. Number 6 is the Amex or the American Express Virtual Pay Card. I think this is one of the most underrated features in GCash right now. Basically, what this means is GCash actually allows you to open an Amex virtual card. So it's like a debit card, but it's only digital. You won't get a physical card. What's great about this is that it actually provides you a US address. So you would have an address in the United States that you can use for online shopping. Some US merchants actually require for a US address to be set up or linked to the card that you're using. So there are some cases where you cannot use your Philippine issued card. This would be one of those great, very specific needs that you probably are struggling with or have struggled with in the Christmas season when you're buying gifts abroad. This is a great way. It's a debit card. You will have it right on the spot as soon as you apply, and I have tried this and it works. The seventh one is actually being able to plant trees in GCash. So while you cannot buy a tree, you actually are rewarded for certain activities that you can do within the GCash app. So this can be like sending money or topping up or paying bills. All of these transactions will have an amount of green energy tagged to it. At the end of the day, or maybe the next day, these green energy show up in your app, and you can actually click on them, and then you can amass enough green energy so that you're able to sponsor one tree to be planted in one of the watersheds in the Philippines. I think this is a brilliant way to incentivize transactions in the app so that GCash wins, but every time you do so, including if you are actually taking physical steps, so if you are doing a steps challenge, you can actually earn green energy so that that builds you towards a tree. The last thing that you probably have not paid attention so much on the GCash app is you can also earn by referring users to GCash. This is a great way to share the word and maybe make someone's life a bit more simpler by leveraging on what GCash has to offer, and you earn about 50 pesos every referral on the process. This is capped at 25 users per month, which means 25 times 50 pesos, it's a max of about 1,250 pesos per month that you can earn as referral credits every time you get a unique user into the GCash environment. You can do this by clicking on your profile and click on refer a friend and follow the prompts, which will give you a referral code or a referral link that they can actually use to sign up for GCash. If you want to use mine, that would be great. I will link that in the description box below. The person who's joining GCash also gets about 70 pesos worth of credit, so it's a win-win. Those are the 8 things that I think are a bit underrated for GCash beyond the send money, scan to pay QR, or even bank transfer features that are probably a bit more well known for GCash. I hope you learned a thing or two from the 8 things. If you feel somebody can learn from this video, please help to share. And please, if you found value in the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so that you have access for more videos in the future similar to this one. If you want to learn more about a specific GCash feature or something totally not related to this, please feel free to comment that down below and we'll try to cover that in a future video. Thanks for supporting this episode, and I'll see you on the next one.